as I will have said in the last video, this okay, it's not so much uploading this that's difficult for me. It's processing all that I've done to get to where I am now, and the recent decisions I've made. So, let's just come right out and say what has happened. If you've been following my journey up until this point, or have just recently started viewing this channel whilst I've been in this part of the northern region of Canada, in the Labrador Territory, you'll know that you'll know of two things. One, as has been a recurrent theme throughout my travels when I've tried to obtain it, I've had difficulty gaining local employment here. It's specifically with how Labrador City is communally structured. It is very rapidly come to my attention of how exceedingly difficult it is for this municipality for someone to gain really not even just local employment, any employment, even with the moderate and mega corporate branches that are here. And financially, I've been worse off than I even was in Quebec City. It's been so incredibly harsh. And the second thing that you will know if you've been following me recently is that I've come to the epiphany that I'm sick and tired of being not not even not consciously, not just mentally consciously alone, but to be more precise, actually, it's that accompanied with the fact I'm tired of being so physically alone. I'm tired of being here, being there, being every which where, and being isolated. I'm tired of. I'm not tired of exploring regions. No way. I'm not tired of uncovering corruption. It's like my lifeline. But I'm tired of walking into a place and being a ghost and then walking out of it after learning so much about said place. And you have also probably seen the video disclosing how I'm at my wit's end because of this isolation. I'm at my breaking point of dealing with the delusionally oppressed. Not just one demographic, of all of them. All. I'm sick and tired of it. I don't give a shit if some smartass says that an intellectual will find it everywhere. If you have companions in your close area, you can look past that stupidity. That's the thing, really, too. If you just have even so much as one person who isn't even a friend, who's just an acquaintance that you mildly agree with, who reflects some of your ideals in some way, some of your same psychology, you can block out the noise of the world. Not ignore it if you're smart, but you can put up a safety blockade. I think I somewhat took that for granted when I was living in Toronto. Not entirely. The people who I thought were my friends who weren't. That was evident when certain things transpired with extended family members of mine. So, what has happened specifically? Well, recently I got on a phone call with one of my parents. Now, if you've also been following me for a while, you know that when I left Toronto 2.5 years ago, our relationship was horrific. I ran away from home. It's not the reason I left Toronto, but well, before leaving, I had run away from home. Then I pretty well went no contact with my immediate family for the entire portion of my journey leading up to me leaving Ottawa. I hadn't spoken with them barely at all throughout the entire duration of my stay in the national capital. And it wasn't until getting ready to make my way into the province of Quebec, walking in, beginning the real bulk of my hitchhiking abilities, that we opened up communication again together. And long story short, for the whole 2 years from there to here, our relationship has completely mended, healed. And if they're watching this, I consider them to pretty well be, well, they're not just my immediate family, I consider them to be some of my best friends. At least as of right now. So I got on a call with this parent, and I was completely distraught. I ended up where I was in the city here. I ended up breaking down in tears as of everything. All the struggling in this wretched fucking mining exploitation site. And the fact that I missed them. I missed them more than anything else back in that city, which is a long ways away from here. If you've also been following me for this duration of time, you'll know that my end goal, destination-wise, for this whole journey up north was to make it to Iqaluit, city of Iqaluit, Nunavut, the territorial capital of Nunavut. Labrador City was supposed to be my last stop on the mainland before trying to get there via flight, or I had to arrange a drive straight to the east coast of Labrador at Port Hope Simpson or a place around there and take a boat up through the Atlantic. Well, that goal in terms of this straight shoot up from southern Canada to northern Canada, at least that far north, I'm sorry to say, more sorry to myself, it will not be happening. So on that phone call, my parent had asked, Cam, do you want to come home? We want you here more than anything. We really do. We have wanted you, from their specific opinion, we have wanted you back since the moment you went out the door. And I said yes. I do. I want to come home. Now, they don't live in the same house anymore that we did whilst in Toronto. They don't even live in Toronto anymore, technically. Well, they're staying in Oshawa right now. Still the GTA. But, and just a bit of an update. I'm now, if you saw the title of, okay, well, this is an update yet. Oh, whatever the fuck. You saw the title of the last video of my drawings. Know that I am now officially 21 years old. December 8th is my birthday. I was planning on making an upload then, but that didn't pan out. But if you recall, my 20th birthday, the video I made titled, I Wish I Didn't Need to Be Strong, but I Do, and I know you wish you did too. I talked about how this specific parent had ended up back in the hospital because of a psychotic break. Now, I've talked about my introduction videos when I was in Ottawa. I've discussed the past of all that. So I'm not going into it here, but I'll just say they're much better now. They've long been released from psychiatric ward care. They're stable. They're safe. But them and my apparently then my other parent got on the phone, discussed this, and we made a plan of how I am going to get back to Toronto, or to the greater Toronto area. To put it simply, they have gathered up funds by whatever means, I don't know how, to pay for provisions in terms of flying from the regional airport here over in the town of Wabush for me to take a small charter flight down through the Boreal, over it, more so, to the city of Sept-Îles on the north coast of Quebec, then to Jean Lesage International Airport in Quebec City, then changing flights to depart for Pearson International in Toronto. They've taken care of everything with what funds they have, which is not a lot. I'll just say me and them, me and my immediate family, financially, for the longest while, we've all been in the same boat. We are very much impoverished. When I was living with them before, we were lower middle class. Oh, that's not it now. My flight departs from here on December 31st. Yeah, not kidding. Right on New Year's Eve. Well, the day of New Year's Eve. It leaves at 1:30 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. I'm making preparations to leave. So that's what's happening. That's the long short of it. How do I feel? about all of this? Well, it's a very I really use this word. I really do use it a lot to describe really just the general sensations that I continuously feel. It's all very upliftingly somber. At least for me, it's that. Hold on. I never I truly it's always this duality for me. I both can and cannot believe that I have been capable of the things that I've done. I I never I have done miraculous things. Every single video on this channel, even the ones that I'm not particularly happy with, which I'll get into later, is far less now than my initial perception of my creative abilities. Even every single upload to this channel, to the Pornhub channel, to my MakeLoveNotPorn.com channel, to my Quora account with in terms of typed out posts, now to the Pinterest account that I have up. All of this is a testament to the incredible lengths that I've gone to change myself as a person, to see and expose the horrors of the world, in what ways I can, from what conclusions I interpret. And trying to add some levity, some peace of mind for those who are like me, or want to be like me, who admire what I do, who admire and only dream that they could achieve things that I have. At least as of their situation at this moment. Everything I've done has been a testament to it. Every day, I am astonished of the room that I'm simply recording this in right now. That I'm sitting in this room. That I've been sleeping in this bed. In Lab City, Labrador, Newfoundland Labrador, Canada. If you don't know how far I have literally walked, that I've hitchhiked, how far I have come, you need to pull up satellite maps, type in the distance, Toronto to Labrador City. I got here in 2.5 years. I have been gone from Toronto for 2.5 years, nearly 3 years. To be more specific, it's 2 years and roughly 7 to 8 months. It's something it's something that has proven my intelligence, that proves my endurance. And on some level, with all my adventures that I've had, and they are adventures, it's not merely travels, I'm a fucking adventurer. It rectifies amounts of my past misdeeds. I have come from the spearhead of Ontario, the southernmost portion of this nation, all the way to the eastern pre-Arctic region of the Canadian Shield. I mean it. Look, if you have been following me and you've been interested, but you haven't actually measured the distance, go look on Google Maps. Go look from an aerial view, how far that is. whatever, the Mercator map, yeah, it enlarges the northern and southern hemispheres. So what? It's still accurate in terms of length overall. Go look. I am not some ordinary individual. Some of you narcissistic, hedonistic, schizotypical, sociopathic, egocentric, depressive, dissociative, losers out there. And I mean that in the most harsh way I can. You are losers. You're snickering thinking that I'm exactly how I just described you. While you sit in your fucking basement, scrolling through social media, wasting away at some corporate firm or retail branch, or just as an average attendant of a discotheque or some public facility complex, trudging your way to university every week just so you can get a bachelor's degree in fucking computer engineering. I don't know. Your self-hatred knows no bounds. It makes you feel better to laugh at me and think of that everything I've done is ridiculous. More power to you. You have no effect on me. Oh, you have an effect on my anger. But once I say my piece, have my own release of tension, and then, well, dissociate from it, I'm not perturbed by you. Not anymore, at least. Not after all this. Not after all of this. So how do I feel specifically in regards to having to give up, I'm making this clear, I am willing. This was my decision. I agreed to go back to what will be my home again. How do I feel about giving up on reaching the city of Iqaluit on Baffin's Island? I feel At first, I felt disappointed in myself. I felt ashamed. Not because I had set myself up to an unrealistic standard, because it's clearly not unrealistic for me. It's not. It's because I came. Oh, it's the classic loss of crisis of losing purpose. I came so close. I came so damn close. I literally, Labrador City, I came the closest via road routes in this country that you can to Iqaluit. This is the closest. Driving from the south of Canada, Labrador is the closest, the entire territory, all along, well, this portion, on the Quebec half, Highway 389, through the actual territory, along the Trans-Labrador Highway. That is literally the closest you can go by vehicle to Baffin's Island. You can't even get that close. You can't even get to the mainland of Nunavut that's attached to Northwest Territories, with the inlet cities of Aravat and Rankin. You can't even get there via road route from the south. And just geolocation-wise, it's in the Northern Hemisphere, it's not as close. Even if you were in Rankin or Arviat. I came the closest a human being possibly can. I did it all on my own. Yes, I had the collaborative aid of all those who assisted me throughout the way. But none of that would have happened if it wasn't me who asked for their help. If it wasn't me who instigated it in some manner. I got so far. I got to the literal... Well, here's a bit of an... What I found out is, even though I intended Lab City to be the last mainland destination, I most likely wouldn't have even been able to fly out of the regional airport from here. I would have had to go to Happy Valley Goose Bay, to the airbase, to see if I could gain some sort of flight, maybe a cargo transport flight going from there, or maybe a small charter, I don't know. Possibly would have had to have a layover in Kitchewack, Quebec. But I thought that I could ride it out another winter, as I've been doing for the past 2 years. Did it first in Ottawa, had a lot more aid then in some manner, and I did it completely on my own in Lévis and St. Paul de Montmagny. I thought that I could do it, especially considering the fact that my main issue with employment in the employment half in Quebec was that I don't speak Quebecois French barely at all. That was the main issue. Considering that Labrador is Anglophone, I thought it would be easier. I seem to have for the places I pick to stop, to go, oh wow, do I have. For research, it's fantastic. For actually staying there sustainably, oh, it's economic poor choices. Okay. It's always no better anywhere else, but I mean, just in terms of getting something, some littlest bit of stability. But I'm drawn to these places. This is where this is where the world happens. These places are where the horrific ideologies truly shine through. Places that no one sees, as they're tailored to not see them. Now, once again, is the only damn good thing about this small cityscape. It's always the only damn pleasant thing. saddened and part of me that was saddened and disappointed is because I created that personal goal through my own observation, my realizing my own wants and achievement. And I resisted so long people telling me that I was fucking insane for attempting it. People, idiots, ageist, fucking diluted, pitiful people who told me that I couldn't. The systematic forces all around me constantly trying to stop me from being able to. They try to stop everyone of the suppressed groups from being able to. In the most angsty, teenager sounding sentence possible. Society literally telling me I can't. You can't do it. We won't let you do it without a fight of some kind. Without turmoil. And I did. I made it at least to the mainland end goal of mine. A part of me, in the part of me that is ashamed of myself for that, for giving up on that mission, feels that it's a letdown to my research work as well, of all the unique observations of oppression I've made in municipalities all around, all throughout southeastern Canada, going up this way. Iqaluit was the place I wanted to see the most. I really was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to analyzing the horrific corruption. I was looking forward to feeling invigorated exposing it. egotistical. And I don't care. I've given my justifications for it. People really need to understand. If you at all like my content, if you at all like me through this parasocial dynamic, you really need to understand one thing. I hate this world with a fiery passion that I'm sure only my writing and maybe my drawings at some point could express. I'll never articulate it the way I feel. Well, it's just human nature. I'll never say it as satisfactorily as I would unconsciously like. Make no mistake, I despise this globe. I fucking hate so many cultures. Cultures. Let me say that. I am sure, for a certain amount of you viewing this, I hate your culture. I hate it. I don't care if it's a racial background. I don't care if it's a sexuality background. I don't care if it's a religious background. I don't care if it's a class background. I hate it. I hate conformity more than anything. I hate herd mentality. And even though I believe cultures are inevitable, they are inevitable. They are not concrete. They are not infinite. They are not stagnate. And the culture of you, the individual, as I've said this before, I really believe that is worth a million more that is worth more human existence than all the rest. Fuck so many cultures. It is not fucking diversity. It is just be the same. Or else. that even though I hate so much about this earth, make no mistake that I love life. Yes, I love being alive. I love being able to wake up every morning and go to sleep at night. I'm thankful that my consciousness has not yet ceased forever in its sleep. I think anyone with the slightest ability to empathize, who's been following my quest, can tell that just by looking at all the work I've done here on YouTube alone. I think you can tell that no matter how much I righteously complain, or even if you don't understand all the concepts that I'm discussing and that I'm talking about, even if you dislike or are morally opposed to things I do, I think some of you can at least clearly see that I have a passion for being alive. I have just a passion behind what I do. I mean, it doesn't matter where that drive comes from subconsciously. I just do. And I have been a fucking... As far as online content goes, I've been a freaking pioneer. You cannot find another channel on this platform that has done something like this. At least how I've done it. Fuck. I went from being another sketch comedian on here. How many of you are still here from that? Do you remember that? The next video is going to talk about that. I'm going to address that a bit more. I was doing fucking sketch comedy. My first few videos on here were Minecraft videos of 2 cities, Reef and Icarus, that I had built. That alone was an achievement. Oh, he did it in creative mode. I went from screen recorded Minecraft showcasing videos to sketch comedy. both in short format and long format, to an amount of commentary. I really titled it Too Much Talking Twink. To fucking exploring the world. Being a travel vlogger. Not even that. None of this hyperbolic editing. That's another thing about my videos. How many uploaders of this variety of content can say that they don't succumb to this choppy fucking noise of editing? This platform is just fucking noise by this point. It's noise. So is TikTok, so is Instagram, so is... So is Pinterest, so is Quora, so is Pornhub. It's all just fucking sensational, overstimulating, addictive noise. It's noise. Even fucking people who make video commentary, video essays, where they're sitting in front of the camera like this. Oh, they have to have a fucking microphone. They just have to. They can't possibly record from their webcam on the computer and use the microphone there, or their phone. There's nothing wrong with the speaker. You can hear it. Put in your earbuds if you want. You can probably hear it a bit better then. But no, everyone has to know, has to pristinely hear every word that is articulated. They have to hear every noise, every bit of vocalization that comes from the creator's mouth. Oh, and everything has to have proper lighting. Everything has to be... Everyone has to have a fucking little screen back behind the camera. Or they have to have an entire green screen. Oh, or yeah, everybody has to, hold their camera like this. They have to hold it like this whenever they're making a really good point. And then they have to do this sort of woo and out and woo and out, woo out all the time. Or no one's gonna be interested. Everybody has to fucking do some random shit, make the thing move all the time. It's fucking obscene. It is utterly attention-seeking psychosis. And it's not playing the YouTube algorithm. For those of you who are convinced of it, that you need to do it or YouTube won't push it. They're not pushing your content to anyone outside of the discourse spheres that you're a part of. Anyway, they're not. I've actually starting to suspect something, actually. I know that my content, as is with any other genuine leftist content creators on here, is censored. Mine, I think, is even more so, in many regards. Because I've noticed maybe the reason that I'm not getting so many views, many comments from even for those who do view my content is because it's literally just being pushed to feeds that are not tailored to those who make the same content that I do. I'm starting to suspect that. They're just finding a place to push content, not just me, content creators like me, ones that I see that get 0 view counts. They're just finding a space to push them. That's not within the spheres of discourse for them because it's not polarizing enough. It's not narcissistic enough. Therefore, it's dangerous. As heaven forbid, the populations actually learn about how the world is run. Heaven forbid they know what happens when an engineer creates a working, reusable car engine using combustible silver. So, half of me was disappointed that I didn't stick it out, even getting to an even further point of desperation. To reach Iqaluit. The other half of me, now more overtaking my emotional state, is beyond grateful and enthusiastic. Silently enthusiastic, but still nonetheless. Here's another thing I realized. I was never running, I've said this before, and I firmly still believe it. For any of those who are in my interpersonal life who thought I was running from my problems back home, no. My problems back home, plainly clear, were resolved long distance. My problems were with my environment, my societal environment. And I wanted to see it beyond the concrete monstrosity of the city of Toronto. I wanted to see what was out there. I wanted to test my morals. I wanted to put myself through trying things. I want to put myself in uncomfortability. To see if I was really doing the right things. And lo and behold, I was not. I've dropped certain ideologies, shifted ideological thought, shifted my values, my whole identity has changed. For the better. And no amount of belittling, baseless belittling that I can easily debunk can now ever rob that of me. I will no longer hear that I am a surface level hypocrite purposefully to my ethics. I will no longer hear that I have not done enough. Never again. You have nothing fucking on me. I will point to this whole experience as proof. You can never fucking again. No one can ever again. At the very least of anything else. I don't care what debates I get into with people. Trying to prove a point, trying to shift cognitions, trying to defend myself. You cannot say that I have not tried. I will not hear it. The conversation is ending the second that I hear that. Specifically if it's from people who know who I am. Never again. You're not getting into it with me. Because I will give you an earful, and I will go straight for your friggin' personality. I can stare deep into someone's psyche. I watch people. Be aware that if I meet you, I am watching you, and I'm watching every mannerism, every insecurity that you have. I know it. Even if I'm wrong about certain things, I can get a fairly good read on you. I'm damn good at analysis. If you push me far enough, and I've had far too many fucking people push me far enough, you will see a very, very belligerent version of me. You will see a whirlwind of rage. Well-articulated rage. And I will go straight for what you try to conceal. about yourself. You might fool other people. You don't fool me. Once I actually figure it out. The reason I am such a silent and quiet person is because if I was sharing my true views of others around me in many regards, I'd be kicked out of places, I'd be fired from jobs, I'd be prohibited from safe amenities. I would be seen as a threat, or I'd be made out to be a threat. And on a existential level, yes, I would be a threat to their existence in some manner. But never again can anyone tell me that I'm not doing enough. All your ignorance does is fuel me. It doesn't matter whatever episodes of depression I fall into from here on out, I am indestructible from suicide now. That's the thing as well. When I get very depressed, I no longer am suicidal. It's actually a worse feeling. There's a worse feeling than suicidality. And that's times where I feel that I don't deserve happiness. For past actions of mine, ignorance of mine, self-centeredness of mine, people I've betrayed, people I've manipulated. It's the funny thing about this world as well. It's the funny thing about humanity. People say that ignorance is no excuse. That trauma is no excuse. Ignorance is the only fucking excuse. It's the only fucking excuse that exists. It's not a justification, but it is the only reason. You're born in this world, thrown out into bullshit. given false joys, false everlasting happiness. You're given false saviors. You see the pain of your immediate life when you're a child. You think, why? Why is this happening to me? Why does it look like it's not happening to anyone else? Then you find these saving graces of cultures, communities. For me, it was the fucking internet, it was the fucking alternative rock community, it was the fucking storytelling communities of cartoons and film and video games. And the artsy drama kids and gaming culture and comedy and emo punker attire, philosophy. You find these little saviors. You think you found a good path. You think you're out. You think that here it is. I realize what the true corruption of people is, and I'm free now. I'm a better person. And then those who are a bit smarter start looking around a bit more and then realizing, oh shit, I was never out, it's just the same. It's things that started for good causes and then went down the rabbit hole of exploitation. Or succumb to abusive behaviors. And that is the real key thing. People talk about it's a concept in psychology of false starts, more in psychosociology of false starts. In moral values people were brought up on that represented a driving force to their life, that represented peace in childhood from their perception. There's that concept of false starts. But what people don't talk about, as far as I'm concerned, are false redeemers. In fact, there are far more false redemptions. Far more false redemptions amongst humanity than there are false starts. There's far more false redeemers. That's the real traumatizing trap. It was a million times more hope-shattering when I learned. I'll give one example. I thought when I was a teenager, I had found peace in the alternative music industry. in video games. I'll use these both. I thought I had found people who understood the meaning of expressing human experience through darker, grittier, showing darker and grittier realities, the unsavoriness of human emotion. I thought video games, the experience of story mode, playing through as a character in complete control of their emotions, in complete control of every decision they make, even if it's pre-set up, yes, of what is determined of how a level flows, how a cutscene goes. But you choosing whether you pause the game, whether you discontinue, or whether you literally don't pause it. You literally set down the controller and the character just stands there. Literally just stand in this virtual world and not progress if the player so chooses. That's something you can't find in a movie or a show, in a play, in a book, in a song. That's something you can't find at all. Book, you have to close it. You have to stop reading it. Film, show, you have to pause it. Play, you can't stop it unless you leave the actual theater, or you stand up and cause a commotion. Video game, you could drop the controller and things just happen. They just stay. You are engaged with the process in the fullest extent. Your eyes, your ears, your hands, you have to be engaged, or you're gonna die. Or if you can't die in the game itself, or you fail, you stop. You have to be engaged. With other mediums, you can have really some amount of, it's all an engagement. It's cognitively enticing. It has focus for your perception, but you can still in some way detach from it and focus on other things in your environment. With a video game, you really have to be there. You have to be dedicated to it. You actually have to go through the process. That's what I loved about it. For emo music, like I said, harsher, grittier, realism. There was a realist element to it. Full expression of very disturbing, inner disrupt. That's what at least I saw in it. That's what I saw in those phenomena. Those two. When I was a kid. And as you do, as children, when you have your little friend groups in school, or the modern world, school is the culmination of all of it, of all these social groups, all these different factions coming together. You form your little temporary friend groups. You really do think that they understand what you feel. But then you learn it's mild interest. When I started learning that most of my friends, when I started realizing, oh, wait, wow, never mind. Yeah, they don't see the same things that I see. I thought on some level, consciously, subconsciously, it's the same, but consciously, I thought people in these communities just sort of perceive the same things I did with them. But then I realized, oh, most of it is just for fucking gratifying trauma. They don't know why they like it. People in this fucking race don't know why they like things. They just know that it feels good. It feels like something other than the friggin' oppression I initially had. Feels invigorating. Feels freeing. It's a false sense of freedom. They have no passion behind it. And they're pessimistic critics to the bitter end. That was more traumatizing to me, realizing that. That was more harmful to me than any amount of fucking religious abuse or initial economic strife, or seeing one of my parents go through a psychotic mental breakdown when I was a child. That was more destructive to me than any amount of that was. I never wanted to hurt people. Talk more about this in the next video. To continue on that point, you're shoved out into this world. You're told be this way. And you realize I don't want to be this way. Then you find some other things to be. And you don't fucking know. You have no clue of right from wrong. You have no guidance of anything from any competent individuals. You have fucking people just moving and doing shit. Saying shit, just doing without cause. How the fuck are you supposed to know? Of course you're gonna commit an atrocity. Of course you're gonna contribute to terrible things. Are you fucking stupid? Well, clearly you are if you think otherwise. Of course you are. That is only naturalism. And then there are these people who then would argue that this is the justification of anti-moralism. Another false redemption. not knowing. I hate not knowing what human beings are. I've always hated it. I've hated it so much. I am not someone who is comfortable going with the flow. I can't, and I never will. I am more educated than that. I have more of a want for education than that. And that is not why I am getting involved with post-secondary. Fuck systems of education. I do not learn a shrillest bit from them. No one does. I will not. All I've ever wanted was to enjoy people and for people to enjoy me. Enjoy my presence. Like I enjoyed theirs. People's disorders are so apparent. It's so apparent how so many struggle with empathy. Some of my old friends in high school, if you're watching this, there are certain people in high school, even if you didn't consider us friends. You don't know how much your presence meant to me. You don't know how much it meant to me to just be around you. Wanna know something sad? The past year at least, stared at photos on my phone while I eat in restaurants, while I think, project my fantasies of relationships that I never had. Always so strange. There are days where I'm fully confident in my constructed ideas. And there are other days where I wonder, specifically in relation to morality, does it even exist? For as many models as we create of the human psychology, there is no one structure that can fully fit psychobiology. It can come close, it can be accurate enough. There'll be always something that's missed, something that doesn't quite fit. It's like the moment you're born, you're not afforded the right to be human. You're never afforded it. And then they just say, deal with it. And even you don't want to deal with it. It's just one reason why Gen Z is so dead emotionally. They're so detached, so unintimate. Performative activism killed us, and it's getting worse. I'm gonna pace around a bit because that helps me. It helps me process things. It helps me actually coordinate my thought patterns. This is something I have done a lot for many years. Can't see my face, so whatever, you can deal with it for a bit. So, am I what will I be doing once I get back to Toronto? I'll be going to live with my family again at their new, well, in their new housing unit, the rental space they're in. And they're staying there until at least, seems the lease right now goes till August of 2025. That's very good overall, given their position. I'm happy for them about that. But so, what will I be doing now? Am I still going to be a nomad? Yes. Yes, I am. So how will I go about that? Okay, let me just say, forgetting this personal crusade I've gone on to the north, I am still acting as a dedicated anarcho-maximalist. I am not giving that up. Not at all. Never. I will be staying with my family until the warmer season comes. And then I'm going right back outside, as always. Yep. Going right back out into a tent, moving all throughout the GTA. I'll be, once getting there, I'll be taking some time. Well, I'll be taking a plethora of time. Okay, let me just say, I'm taking a good amount of a hiatus from this. A good amount. Like at least fucking 3 months of a friggin' hiatus. I swear. I need time to actually properly look back on everything I've done, reflect on all of it, rewatch all my content properly rather than just sporadically. And I want to be with my family, my immediate family, hang out with them, actually spend time with them, do enjoyable things, have enlightening conversations with them, as we now do. I want to take that time. It's long overdue. Because in that, I realize another reason. Here's the beneficial way to look at this whole situation. Part of me that is enthusiastic about this is that in terms of my values, economically, I'm happy to leave Labrador City. Fuck this municipality. Fuck it. I hate it here. I hate it. And realistically looking at it, if I was to stay longer and succumb to gaining employment at larger corporations, that would be giving in excessively. That would be giving up. That would be breaching further than I have to my ethical code. That would be if I stayed and took that position, but I'm not. And once I get back to Toronto, I will be scouring that city for small business employment, and I will find it. I absolutely will find it. I will, no doubt. If not Toronto, in Oshawa, or in Markham, or in Vaughan, or in Brampton, or Mississauga. I will go to the edges of that metropolitan area. I will friggin' scour it. All throughout the worst, most crime-filled areas, to even right next to the ultra-rich dominance. I will find something. And as well as, I'm also happy the fact that on the positive end, I'll be able to do so much more exploring throughout the GTA. Here's a positive thing that'll be coming on the channel at some point in the future. Exploring Toronto, exploring Mississauga, exploring Oshawa. That's absolutely going to be happening. There'll be a whole load of things to find. And this time, I won't be on a time date. Because all throughout going up north, I've been on a time date of wanting to get to each place at a certain point for the colder season to find shelter. Given my means of travel, that's not going to be too much of an issue once getting back there, at least for now. I will do so much. There will be so much research to do. So much corruption to uncover. And I will be enjoying every minute of my investigations there, on and off camera. But as for content on a damn slice of cake, I am taking a hiatus. And then, after it, I will be making my other channel, specifically dedicated to my theories. And I'm titling it Weinsteinian Theoretics. Yep, I'm being as egotistical as I possibly can with that. I'm pioneering a new friggin' subspecialty of psychoanalytics here. Of course I'm gonna name it after myself. What if Freud gets Freudianism and Jung gets Jungianism and Adler gets Adlerianism? I get Weinsteinism or Weinsteinianism or whatever else. Absolutely, I deserve that. Oh, ow. That's what walking... Yeah, that's what, I'm gonna remember not to squat that long. That's what walking across 1/3 of the second largest nation in the friggin' world will do. 1/3. But I'm going to spend time with them, have new enjoyments with them, and relive old ones. There's so many activities we did when we were living together in Toronto that I absolutely loved and enjoyed. I hope we get to do those again. I'm a little scared because, well, we have all changed. We have all bettered ourselves. And that's a fantastic thing, but I'm a little scared that a little nervous that we'll be expecting our old selves to be returning to us. And they won't, and then it'll just kind of lose momentum, but I don't think that'll happen. Worried of it, but I don't think it will. I'll be seeing old friends again. I wonder how they've changed in person. There might be some strenuous relations with certain individuals, and I'm going to get some fucking answer as to why certain people have not spoken to me for a good long while. I'm gonna get some fucking answer to that. I wanted to talk about so much. I wanted to show so many things with this on this channel. So much commentary I wanted to do in my explorations. So many things I never got to showcase. Oh, I've done enough. Can wait. The world is not interested in me. It won't be interested in me most likely until after my death. I know that very well. But I just need some people in my life while I'm alive who can't understand. I find the people for me that it's fulfilling enough to be around, fuck my theories, fuck YouTube, fuck all the projects, I'm gone. I'm being with them. I'll still work on my projects, but I'm not concerned if they ever get finished. No. If I find people like that before any of them are done or whatever new ones I take on, solving the mysteries it's not my priority anymore. Not my freaking priority. At least it's not my priority to demonstrate it to others in the world, to showcase it. It's no longer my priority. Be my priority to solve those mysteries of nature and existence with those people. That's it. And I know that even though I'm turning around now, after 2.5, nearly 3 years of this long adventure with so many side quests, so many opened cases and unresolved discoveries everywhere I've gone. Picked up investigating something and then I had to drop it. I know that I was a part of that grander story of the lives of those individuals and those entities communally. I was a part of it in some manner. At least I was hot on their trail. In some form. I was aware of their existence. I've done more than most can say they've done for their entire lives. And I'm in my very early 20s. I said it before and I'll say it again. I am not lost. I am not lost in my 20s. Oh, no way. Not a chance. And I know that's not a fashionable thing to be for internet culture as of right now. But make no mistake, I am not. I'm more found than ever. It's refreshing, I think, to see. So ultimately, I am happy that though giving up on reaching the destination that I thought was achievable for me with the route I took, with the methods I utilized, as far as I'm concerned, I've gone far enough. Even though I love the analysis that I do sociologically of these places, I know, especially now more than ever, despite each intricate and uniquely different presentation of repression, of bureaucracy, of degeneracy that I see in all the places I've been, despite how unique each city, town, village, rural farming area has been, in some manner or another, in essence, it's all the same. And I know when I get to Iqaluit, because I'm not giving up on that. Don't worry about that. Whenever I do, it's gonna, in essence, it's all gonna be the exact same thing. Just in different clothing. All the same. I've gone far enough and seen enough to truly know the world. And so, in terms of that, I'll gain employment somewhere in the GTA at a local company. I will save up what I can, not an extensive amount, because that is a prospect that does not exist. There's no such stability in the modern day. Never has been, but much more so in late stage capitalism. I'll save up what I can. I'll do whatever endeavors I do throughout the most likely the 6 main cityscapes of that area. And then when I have enough to sustain me for at least a month, I will get on a plane and fly all the way to Baffin's Island. To stay there for at least, hopefully, a month in the warmer weather, outside. Or if need be, rent a place for a month, rent a local converted housing unit that's put up for, well, put up as a vacation spot. And explore it then. I know I'll get there at some point. As well as, does this mean I'm giving up on my mission back in the city of Leviz of infiltrating that undisclosed corporation? No. That'll transpire one day as well. I'll go back to Leviz and do that infiltration. I'm determined of that. I'll be able to actually build up more resources to make it more effective. And I will also, one day, return to St. Paul de Montmagny. To assess the developments there. To see about the Talbot family's tyranny and if it's in any way subsided or worsened. Maybe I'll do all three of those at Callowit, Leviz, and SPDM in one round trip. Who knows? No clue. Only time will tell. And it will take time. A lot of time. And now that I know my motives, my desires, I'm in no real rush as of right now. All remains to be foretold. By me and my choices. I can really, I will have so much time to write. I will have so much, I know I will have so much conscious motivation, so much support. My theories will get done. I'll be able to revise them, refine them, do so much with them. Oh, and now to briefly address to any of the individuals who demeaned me, betrayed my trust, and have offered no attempts at reconciling our relations. You know my thoughts of you. If I see you again, you can hope for nothing out of me. No engagement. Unless you've got a mouthful of an apology waiting for me when I return to Ontario. Not good with words. You have too much anxiety around expression of connection. Then you better have a fucking sincere jester. A gesture that, in your own way, you know would actually mean something. Other than that, I don't want to speak to you. If you don't have it, I'll acknowledge your presence and then go on about with my day. And that's all I'm saying on that matter. You know who you are. I don't have much more to say right now. Just that I've already lived an outstanding life at 21. Done outstanding things. Never succumbed to the wastelands of human thought. And on top of, in regards further, I want to say this, recalled to my newfound reobservation of my morals. Given that me and my family have mended our dysfunctions, I think now it is more unethical of me to waste our time being so far distant from them than it is of me to even contribute in some manner further than I may need to corporate or governmental entities or the personal crusade I went on to Calwet. I think it is more immoral of me to disregard our want to be united again. It's reciprocated. Than it is to give up my personal venture and go back. It's far worse to me. Because that's not something worth wasting. Most people, and I do mean most people in the world who are severely disordered, who are aware of, who are consciously aware and on some level accepting of their parental traumas. Most people cannot say of those specific kinds of people, they cannot say that they've had healing relations with their family. Like, I'm not just talking about this scenario that happens far too often, is that child will be severely deviant, wanting to escape an abusive situation. They'll escape, it'll cause a catastrophe of some kind, and then some slight amount of middle ground will be met between parent and child. But now throughout adulthood, it's just sort of this awkward mutual tolerance of each other. That's not actual remedying. That's not an actual remedy for past terrors. That's just a mutual condoning of one another as the people they are or have become. No, me and my family, we are now concrete and loving on all ends. It's not this awkward relation. I'm not going back out of some guilt-tripped sense of obligation. I want to. But I'm not giving up being a rebel. I'm not giving up abstaining from societal forces as much as I can. I'm not giving that up. I mean it. I am going right back outside when springtime comes and it's warm enough in the south. Now I'll address right now a bit of an elephant in the room, but I'll talk about it in a different video soon, in full length. What about Cardi B? My trusty dusty, very rusty middle wagon. The devastatingly sad truth is they're not coming with me. not coming. Neither is my tent. But it's tearing to pieces anyway. I will make sure Cardi finds a good home in some regard here in Lab City. They've come farther than any utility object, I guarantee, similar to them in the modern era ever has. At least I also achieved this. There'll be many more things like this. I'm starting this up. I really am. Yes, I got it laminated. This, I will try my damnedest. I will have so many resources for these. So many friggin' resources. For all of this. For all my work. So much. Small. These laminates, these ones, I've been through a lot. Now they smell like soot from a bonfire. Because I had, last year I had shown them to people at a bonfire. I mean it. I'm pioneering something new. New field. Scientific work. You don't just throw these together in one night. Okay, I say, as the original ones of these that were stolen when I was in Laval, they're literally threw this together. I pulled an all-nighter, a couple all-nighters, if I'm recalling correctly, in Ottawa to finish the originals. Okay, shut up. You know what I mean. You don't just throw the conceptions together in a night. At least for me. Half of you degrading fools out there you couldn't do this if you tried. Okay, well, no, you could do it if you tried. With how you are, you couldn't do it if you wanted to. I guess that's a better way to put it. That's another thing too. My theoretical work. I said this to my parents over the phone. They were talking me through that extreme upset culminated in me agreeing to come home. Said to them, some days my theories are the best things that have ever happened to me in my life. Creating these has been the best thing that I ever did. And other days, it's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. There are literal days where I despise ever having made these observations of humanity. I really do despise it some days. I wish I'd never made them. Days where I want to fucking burn these things. Burn them out of existence and forget about them. But I know even if I did that, I can't forget about them. This is ingrained into my intellect. It's ingrained. I can't stop seeing these no matter where I look. It's impossible for me now. Like, it's a high. This. Another way to put it. This is the greatest euphoria, natural euphoria I've ever had. When I first made these observations, not just in digraphic drawing and writing, when I first, in Ottawa, I can remember for the 5 inherent human desires, interactive loneliness, and biologic thanatophobia specifically. Fuck, I can remember the exact moment I had that eureka moment. Like, where I had that spark of electrodes connecting the synapses of my prefrontal cortex. I can remember, I was like, that's it, that makes sense. How do I draw that? How do I make a structure out of that? How do I write that? That makes sense. And then I started creating terminology, and I started looking at previous already established terms in the fields, and fuck. This is the greatest drug I've ever taken. And I'm someone who's never touched a drug in their life. It really was. I'll delve into that story a different time. Probably when I start my second channel. I mean it. When I first discovered these, it was the greatest thing ever. It was the greatest rush I've ever had of brilliance, of any knowledge I've ever received. So, things aren't so creepingly, frighteningly uncertain for me anymore. Just as of right now. At least as it was when I left Toronto. I really was getting to the point where I was coming to the thought that humanity was doomed, that my interpersonal life was doomed to changelessness. And then realized that changingness, the essence of change, is the only reason that I thought it was doomed in the first place. Going to make another video tomorrow, delving into a bit more detail of regrets of mine, more corrections I need to make from things I've said before on the channel, was wrong about, just beliefs of mine in the past that I was wrong about. I'll finally do another Tales from my travels so far video. I wanted to do it for the 2-year anniversary in May of me having left Toronto, but things got ahead of me. Didn't make time to do it. Was too exhausted, really. And yes, I will be doing it naked. Again, don't worry about that. And then I'll upload one more part of exploring Labrador City, and it'll be a shocking one with some of the footage I've gathered. But I won't delve into that here. And then I'll record my long-awaited trip back home. be a whole new beginning. And on New Year's Eve, it's very symbolic. That's the timing for this has worked out very well. That really is some. That is very. Yeah, just the only word I have. Symbolic. That's very meaningful, at least to me. So, this adventure has been something that at one point I only could have dreamed about going about it the way that I did. And what happened overall is ultimately alright with me. It's all just an interesting story at the end of the day. Was a bug barely there, who would have thought? There he'd go, pull himself out of the rut. He was full of confidence, some people haven't any. He had no common sense, it's highly overrated. It's the time of your life, so live it well. It's the time of your life, so live it well. We may only go around this one time, as far as I can tell. So it's the time of your life, so live it well. Isn't it a bit surprising how our fortunes ebb and flow, and only to the enterprising does the magic fortune cookie go? It's the time of your life, so live it well. It's the time of your life, so live it well. You may only go around this one time, as far as I can tell. It's time of your life, so live it well. Do or die, you gotta try to live it well. Happy holidays.